I'm Pietro Paganini, and I'm adjunct professor at the Temple University of Philadelphia, where I teach European business and policies, and I'm also the chair and president of Competere, competere.eu. That's a policy institute where we promote freedom of trade, we promote free market, we promote investments in innovation, and also the freedom of choice in public health. We deal very much with natural and food commodities, and particularly animal proteins. That is the topic of the book we're going to discuss today. Lucy is the ancient human being that we physically found in the Australopithecus africanus, and we wanted to use her as our Cicero in our story, walking through history and telling us, helping us with evidences to figure out the role the animals' proteins had back then, because they helped Lucy and her family and her community to survive and evolve, to expand their brain, to expand their cognitive performance, to improve their capacity of surviving, of reacting to bacteria and viruses, and to also strengthening their DNA. Food is about socialization, or socialization is also about food, and meat, animal proteins, fish are part of that equation. That's why we chose this title, is to kind of target, policymakers, is to target the media, but is also to target consumers, and particularly young people, young adults, to say, hey guys, try to get the information to make conscious choices. Since in contemporary society food is no longer biology but is ideology, this question sounds very provocative. But the fact, the evidence is that our evolution, our surviving, our adaptation happened together and thanks to animal proteins. In other words, animal proteins for millions of years have been part of our evolutionary equation. But certainly animal protein is not just a nutrient, a very rich, dense nutrient. It's more. It's about our life, it's about our social life, it's about our economy. So we need to be careful in thinking we can do it without animal protein. We can't. There is no healthy or unhealthy food. Doesn't exist. These categories are ideological categories or non-scientific categories. Food is good. What matters is the portions that you're using, the quantity, therefore, the quality of the ingredients or the nutrients, and of course is also the variety. And it changes from person to person. So it's very important that we consider that being omnivorous means that we need vegetables, we need fruits, we need whole grain, we need a variety of food, and animal proteins are part of this, a crucial part of this equation, and they are a crucial part of this equation for millions of years, not just from today, millions of years. So today, entering this discussion without scientific evidence and say we don't need animal proteins or we can live without animal proteins is absolutely wrong. Also because animal proteins are incredibly nutrient dense, and they have a certain quantity of micronutrients and vitamins that you find in little quantity or no, absolutely you don't find in other foods, for instance, vegetable proteins. So eating meat, drinking milk is very important for the personal growth and the surviving. So within the balanced diet still, and that balanced diet changes from person to person. Meat is not bad for the planet. Obviously, any humankind activity in which we produce food has an impact on the environment. It is up to us how we manage or / mitigate that impact. Certainly, the production of animal proteins, as any other production, as any crop, has an impact on the environment. But in the case of, for instance, the livestock, we need to consider also the positive impact, the environmental positive impact in the management of the land, for instance. We cannot believe that by stopping cattle, or livestock, we will have forest again. That's not happening because the nature is that way. Animals are conscious, and we want to protect their conscious. We want to protect the fact that they might suffer pain, but this should happen within, the circle of nature. Are there problems with animal welfare? Yes, there are a lot of problems, but we have, particularly in Europe, the livestock industry, the farmers have developed and have invested in incredible technology and new practices that you don't find anywhere else. Maybe in North America, but Europe is certainly the leader in this, in improving the quality of animal welfare. If we go back to the ancient Greek, where we get Mediterranean diet, where diet is not what we eat, but it's the lifestyle. In this lifestyle, we have everything linked to the animal protein. We have the mindset, the importance of the spirit, for instance, eating together. Eating is not just nutrition, eating is also nutrition for your spirit, for instance. Second is physical activity, the fact that we need to move. And this is missing in the equation. Often we talk about, being fat, being obese, it's because of food, or getting a cancer is because of meat. Absolutely not. It's also because of the lack of movement. And then, of course, there is nutrition and the importance of the frequency and the importance of the quantity and the importance of the quality. And again, animal proteins are part of the frequency, are part of the quantity, and also part of the quality. If you put these three criteria together, you get the Mediterranean diet. This book is for everybody, but it's of course for policymakers to provide them those science-based information and evidences so that can develop the right policies that can have a positive impact economically, socially, and on the health of individuals. But it's also for the media, so that media, before writing any article, before accusing animal proteins or anything, they can start research, reading this book, reading other books, making their own opinion, and providing, again, science-based evidences. What we're trying to do here is a lot of science, and try to bring in a simple way, not simplified, in a simple way, to their readers. But it's also for young adults, kids at the primary school or teenagers. The book is very simple. You have Lucy everywhere walking with us. We have some basic images, and these are useful also for kids. So it's a book that in a way serves the youngest and also the older people in making their own free choice based on information.